How's it going, JDM here? We're going to begin started very shortly. I hope you're having a great Wednesday. Tonight we're going to be playing Kyle is Famous Complete Edition. So, without further ado, let's get started. Click.
Kyle woke up. He is famous.
I'll take your word for it. He's famous. Kyle's famous.
Kyle is host of the most popular talk show in recent memory, Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Oh, I like those talk shows. I used to watch like Conan O'Brien and stuff. Now he's got a podcast. But okay, I'm following.
Stay Up Late with Kyle has grown in popularity quickly in the last year, and the public has noticed.
Okay.
Inside has called Kyle a most excellent dumpy white man.
That's not a compliment, but oh, good for Kyle. I mean, someone's gotta.
Top Tech noted that Kyle is inspiring youth to explore STEM fields.
I mean, that's even better. That's even better for Kyle.
Most other talk shows are dedicated to discussing Kyle and his personal details.
Kyle must be very famous then. I mean, everyone seems to be talking about Kyle. I mean, I'm talking about Kyle. What the fuck?
Most online videos are best of clips taken from Kyle's latest broadcast.
Okay. Like shorts?
The eye of the world is upon Kyle.
I don't think I would like that very much. The whole eye. Just one eye on the earth. That'd be kind of...
Tonight is Kyle's most important guest interview yet.
Okay.
Stay Up Late with Kyle will be featuring Rachel May. She is a kind and lovely philanthropist. She is dear to the hearts of many. This interview requires preparation.
I've never heard of Sarah May. I'll take your word for it, narrator. But I'm sure she means a lot to a lot of people.
Kyle cracked his eyes open, knowing today is his last chance to prepare for the interview.
This sounds stressful. How can I help Kyle? Let's see.
Kyle has 30 hours left. He must choose his actions wisely.
You know, saying it like that sounds kind of foreboding. I mean, I don't know about you guys. Like, Kyle has 30 hours left. Ooh, all right. Let's start prepping. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. I'm going to go with Monday. I'm going to go with my Mondays. I'm going to wither away.
Kyle decided to stay put and wither away.
Okay.
Kyle withered successfully and died.
Red letter day. We've solved it. Ah, huzzah. Way to go. Shucks.
Kyle is now a ghost.
Damn it.
This does not relieve him of his responsibilities.
You know, I thought it would. Withering away usually is my first response to everything, and that usually solves all of my issues. But okay, we're getting up out of our ghost bed. Kyle exited his bed and took a quick glance around his bedroom. All right, open the closet, sit at desk, scavenge, exit the bedroom to hallway. I'm gonna scavenge.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for...
bugs.
Kyle started to pick between the fuzz of his bedroom carpet, hoping to catch a stray beetle or two.
Well, that sucks. I refuse responsibilities when I am ghostly.
Me too. I mean, that's how it should be, Jackie. I hope you're doing good. Thanks for coming on in, Ninja Cat. We are playing Kyle is Famous. We're a ghost now. Kyle Ghost. Ghostly Kyle. And we have to prep him for an interview. Which, I mean, yeah. But I hope you're doing good. Kyle started to pick between the fuzz of his bedroom carpet, hoping to catch a stray beetle or two. This seems productive.
Soon, he had a small handful of various insects, dead and alive.
Ooh, exciting. We're gonna eat immediately.
Kyle threw back his head and crammed the sticky, wriggling mass into his mouth. He felt refreshed.
Yeah, good for Kyle. Kyle returned to the center of his bedroom. We're gonna open the closet. Kyle opened the closet. It was really dark. He could only really see his hanging shirts. We're gonna choose an outfit for Kyle.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
Skunk pasties.
Kyle chose the pasties made out of mashed skunk flesh.
Kyle's living his best afterlife. So, yay,
Getting
Kyle.
the slimy garments to stay proved difficult, so Kyle opted to stick them to his body with hot glue.
Kyle, no. You could have used duct tape. Hot glue seems a little excessive. I mean, I guess the skunk pasties are gonna stick. But, yeah. Kyle returned to the center of his bedroom. Well, I think we're gonna sit at the desk. We're gonna write some notes for the interview.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Okay. Am I a mother? Is your mother a mother? Are you a mother? Is your mother a mother? That seems philosophical. Am I a mother? I don't know. That's why I'm asking Sarah May.
Kyle wrote down his second question.
Beef, mash, or blended? What are some diet tips? Ever eaten a raw egg whole? These are all excellent choices. I'm going to go beef, mashed, or blended to go along with our skunk pasties.
Kyle wrote down his third question.
I purposely ran over a puppy. Okay, that seems a little excessive, even for someone like me. What's your funniest story? That seems too normal. Too normy, you know what I mean? Do you ever smile?
I always use super glue to attach my skunk flesh pasties. Duct tape keeps my G-string intact.
Fair enough. I mean, Jackie is a fashionista. I'm sure he would certainly know how to attach the skunk pasties. I'm sorry for doubting Kyle. Didn't he use hot glue, though? That sounds a little more painful. I'm going to go with, do you ever smile?
Kyle wrote down his last question.
What's your guilty pleasure? Do you feel guilty? Are you guilty? Are you? Sarah, are you guilty? Yes.
Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk.
All right, we've been so productive. Back to desk. Check in the desk drawer. That took an entire hour. Okay. Kyle opened up the side drawer of his desk and grabbed one of the items stored there. A small key. Could be
Kyle
anything.
grabbed the small key he kept in his desk.
All right, I'm following. Kyle made his way over to his desk and sat down. All right, we're going. We're gonna leave. Kyle walked into the small hallway that connected the rooms of his apartment together. I guess we're gonna go to the kitchen? Kyle walked to the center of the kitchen. Open fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
Kyle is hungry. Eat crust on fridge wall. Eat the fridge. Prepare breakfast. Or eat condiments. I'm going to eat the crust off the fridge wall.
Kyle started scraping streaks of crud and spots of mold off of the walls of his fridge.
Okay. How well is this going to go?
Wadding it into a crusty, moist ball, Kyle popped it into his mouth and began to chew.
Oh, oh boy. Okay.
Several minutes of crunching later, Kyle finished and swallowed the ball whole. It felt sticky in his stomach.
All right, I think we ran out of time for the interview. ... Okay.
Kyle hurried to the set, Per normal, he ceased to be a ghost before he arrived.
I ceased to be like I was just reborn. I need more details for that.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
Oh, I'm gonna make her night.
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
Oh, I'm gonna approach her.
Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here.
I've been looking forward for you too, Sarah.
Kyle responded.
Oh, scream and spin in circles. That's the only
Kyle
response.
stretched his arms wide, tilted his neck upwards, and was interrupted by his producer telling him and Rachel that it was time to start the show.
Damn it! Insist.
Kyle shoved his producer out of the way, spread his arms wide, and began to scream loudly.
Okay. I like this, Kyle.
He began to rotate slowly, screaming throughout, lightly brushing his hands against the faces of Rachel and his producer.
You know, that's just a normal Monday for me.
After several minutes, Kyle was finished. He slowly put his hands to his sides and smiled. I'm ready, said Kyle.
I'm ready.
Rachel blinked at Kyle, shrugged, and walked over to her seat.
So she's dealt with worse? I don't know.
A moment after
Oh,
seating,
shit.
the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
Oh, boy.
Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Damn.
Kyle vomited all of the horrible things he had eaten earlier onto the floor.
As one does. I mean, bugs and fridge crust, of course.
Rachel looked at Kyle, concerned, gave a couple coughs, and decided to play it cool and keep the show running.
Ah, consummate professional.
Kyle stopped, then vomited again, then continued with a shaky voice.
I think Kyle needs to go to the hospital.
Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction.
He might
Did
have...
he re-eat his vomit?
he might have re-eaten it, yes. Probably.
Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she said. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, please throw up again.
Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss. So we might as well dive right in.
Just
said
let it all
Kyle.
out. Let it all out, Kyle.
I'm very ready, said Rachel with a winning smile.
Customer service face.
Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier.
Do you ever smile?
Do you ever smile? Spat
Yeah.
Kyle. Like, seriously?
Yeah, for real. I mean, although you smiled earlier, have you ever smiled before that?
Rachel stopped smiling.
Of course. Well, I mean,
If you're going to be on the show, you need to smile, okay? Said Kyle, not smiling.
just, yeah, for real, Rachel.
You're here to get views, and you'll get more views if you smile. Here, I'll show you how.
Ah.
Kyle turned to the camera and gave the audience a huge, teeth-clenched, bug-eyed grimace.
I love Kyle.
Rachel nodded and obviously wanted to move on.
You know what? Fair, Rachel.
Kyle asked another question.
Am I a mother?
Rachel, am I a mother? Kyle looked at her very seriously. Rachel was visibly unsure of how to respond. Well, Kyle, I think you might be a better source of answering that question than I am.
Are you the father? I mean, really, like, why else would I ask this?
But do you think I'm a mother?
Yeah.
Asked Kyle, pushing further.
Am I a mother?
Rachel paused for a second before answering. I think you inspire youth to pursue STEM fields, she answered.
Thinking on your feet.
Kyle asked another question.
Mashed or
A
blended?
burning question from the fans, said Kyle. Beef, do you prefer it mashed or blended? Rachel answered promptly. Mashed, and no more was said on that matter.
Please go on, Rachel.
Kyle asked another question.
Are you guilty?
Rachel. Are you guilty?
Yeah!
Kyle threw his questions on the floor.
This
stood up
feels
and
like a
pointed at
Jerry
her.
Springer show.
It might be. Are you guilty, Rachel?
Rachel's eye twitched slightly. Guilty of what, dear Kyle? She smiled disingenuously.
Anything.
Guilty, spat Kyle. Of your crimes!
Of your crimes, Rachel.
Rachel did not answer. Her eyelids both started twitching uncontrollably.
Oh my God, Rachel might be guilty. Holy shit.
After reading his final question, Kyle looked up from his paper.
Yeah.
Well, Rachel, he said, I think that's all I was planning on asking you.
Very well thought out.
If that's the case, Kyle, may I ask you something in return? Asked Rachel, smiling one more time.
Sure, Rachel, what?
What on earth are you wearing? Are they made of skunks?
Yeah, how'd you know? Was it the smell?
Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down. The broadcast was over. Kyle returned home knowing the interview had gone well.
Super well. That was so awesome. I didn't think we could have done any better.
But as he lay in bed and drifted to sleep, he felt that perhaps something was still missing.
You know what, Kyle? You might be right. Let's try that again. Prepared very well. More world options. Nice. All right, let's reset. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. We exited the bed. All right. I am going to get dressed. Inspect rusty locker. I do like rust.
Kyle knelt down and inspected the old, rusty container that had been in his closet for ages. It was locked, but had a blade-shaped slot in the top.
Oh, I have a small key. Oh, yes. Check drawer. Small key.
Kyle grabbed the small key he kept in his desk.
Ooh, juicy. I am salad finger. Rusty.
Rusty spoons are you salad fingers?
I am, yes. That was created by David Firth. I'm going back to the room. We are going to the closet, and we are inspecting the rusty locker.
Kyle knelt down and inspected the old, rusty container that had been in his closet for ages. It was locked, but had a blade-shaped slot in the top.
So that's not it.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for...
Gossip.
Kyle firmly pressed his ear into the carpet, hoping to hear some stray words from the neighbors below.
And it was just sex noises.
I heard Rachel May is going on a trip out of the country soon. Oh, girlfriend, tell me more.
So, JD, does that make David Firth your mum?
Yes, it does. More questions, please. All right.
Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight misdoers.
This is more exciting than Rachel May.
There was a stunned silence. Then a door opened, and someone exited the neighbor's apartment.
Who would ever do that? I mean, okay. I'd be excited. I'd be interested with that. We got gossip. We're going to open the closet. We're going to choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
Suit of armor.
Kyle
Gotta
was
always
unsure of
wear
what
protection.
exactly caused him to decide to wear his armor, but it felt like the right thing to do.
Protection. Always wear protection.
After much squeezing and sweating, Kyle managed to wrap the metal suit around his dumpy self.
Poor Kyle. You're shaming him. All right, we're in our clothes. Let's sit at our desk and write away. True.
I know who it was that left the apartment had to be Peach Fuzz.
It probably was. Probably.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Is your mother a mother?
Kyle wrote down his second question.
Ever eaten a raw egg whole?
Kyle wrote down his third question.
I purposely ran over a puppy.
Kyle wrote down his last question.
Do you feel guilty?
Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk.
All right. I ran out of time.
Kyle hurried to the set.
Scurrying.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
Yeah, right. Rachel's full of shit.
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
All right, smile away, Rachel.
"Good evening, Kyle," she said, looking him in the eyes. "I've been looking forward to being here."
Have you? Really? I'm not even looking forward to this interview.
Kyle responded.
Answer politely.
"And I as well, Rachel."
I
answered
as well.
Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. "You are a most welcome guest."
Yes. Most welcome indeed.
After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast.
Okay.
A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
Gossip about neighbor.
"Good evening, everybody," said Kyle. "My neighbor is a bug vigilante."
So proud.
With nothing more to say on the matter, he fell silent.
Darn it.
Rachel, also on camera, stared at her hands and wondered when she was going to be introduced.
Why? I mean, it's always about Rachel?
The producer started cutting to different camera angles to break the tension. Kyle continued to remain silent and stare forward blankly.
Oh, that's very awkward.
After several minutes, neighbor Gabby walked out onto set.
Oh, shit. We gave away her secret. What is she going to do?
"Hi, everyone," she said, smiling hollowly. "My name is Gabby, and I'm not a bug vigilante."
I never said your name was Gabby. I never said it was Gabby who was the bug vigilante. You gave it away, Gabby.
False. Kyle looked at
False.
Gabby and then returned to staring forwards.
So direct.
Gabby began to reply, but was interrupted by a bug-shaped intercom on her belt.
Oh my. That's quite a coincidence.
"Bug girl," it squawked. "A robbery's in progress on East 3rd. Report immediate."
Bug girl.
Gabby threw the intercom on the ground and crushed it under her foot.
Why are you protesting so much?
After a beat, she spoke tightly. "Something has come up suddenly and I must go."
Oh, you forgot to turn your stove off? Me too. I feel the same way. How's
Gabby eats
it going,
bugs, she
Cammy?
told on herself, bug girl.
She did tell on herself. How's it going? I'm giving you a shouty there. Go check out Cammy Dev. They are awesome. They are one of my awesome mods, and I appreciate their company. We are playing Kyle is Famous, and this is Kyle. Oh my God, Bernie! Wow, how's it going tonight? I hope you're doing great. There's your shouty for the night. Thank you so much for the raid. We are getting everyone taken care of. What were you playing? You were playing Resident Evil 4? Nice. Very nice. I love that game. I've played the original. I eventually want to play it. I'm very bad at Resident Evil games, but it's the spirit, right? But yeah. Yeah, I caught some of it earlier. I had a little bit of schoolwork, so it was like multitasking. I had you on one side and we were doing things. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on in, and you are awesome, and I honestly appreciate this. We are playing a game where basically we are reading aloud, and you'll see. It's a very interesting thing. Yes.
Orange cat raid!
Woo!
Huzzah! Love cats!
Huzzah!
Especially their whiskers, not so fond of the poo.
I mean, that is my least favorite part of cats. True. Huzzah, but their whiskers do indeed make up for the cat poo. Yes. Huzzah. But yeah, I'll show you. After a beat, she spoke tightly. Something has come up suddenly, and I must go.
Gabby left the set. "Well," said Kyle, "that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Rachel."
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about Rachel.
Kyle got up, shook Rachel's hand again, and walked past the cameras, leaving her alone.
Oh my God, this is so
Not knowing
awkward.
what else to do, the producer ended the broadcast.
Oh my God, this is like Matt Damon on the Jimmy Kimmel show, where we just ran out of time for Rachel.
In the coming days, fans of both Rachel and Kyle dubbed this show as a masterpiece of television.
It's like Twin Peaks. It's like David Lynch.
Stay Up Late with Kyle's online pages were updated to reflect this broadcast as the most popular ever.
Did we win a Peabody?
Kyle's producer later tried to have Rachel on the show again, but she was very, very, very busy.
Ah, she was washing her hair and conditioning. I totally understand that. Oh my god! Lupine! How's it going? I hope you're doing good. We are back. We are on a day that I'm normally not on, but next week is spring break, so huzzah, we're gonna fuck off. But I hope you're doing good. I am very hyper. I'd even drink a Monster today. But how you doing? But the whole gang is here. Spring break, yeah, we're gonna get wild. Yes, not Girls Gone Wild. JD Gone Wild. Sell that. Sell that. We could put it on shirts. JD Gone Wild. How about that? Cash me out. Okay. All right, enough of that. But hell yeah. We are here. And, all right. There's multiple endings. There's hundreds of endings. Kyle talked about Gabby. Sorry, that was like screaming your name like a groupie. No. I like when people scream my name. Not like that.
There are too many JDs can get you into trouble.
Yes, there's a... are you excited for April? I am. I am excited for my favorite holiday. The holiday that is about me. April Fools. But yes, I am excited for April. That is closer to my semester ending, so yes. Phrasing hell to the... what are you excited for April? Is there a game coming out? Let me know. I'm always looking for games. So we talked about Gabby instead of Rachel. We're gonna reset. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. We're gonna exit the bed this time. Ooh, you were playing D&D? I'm excited. I'll be 48. Well, happy early birthday. That is awesome. Scavenge. Sit at desk. I'm just going to exit the bedroom and hallway. Move to the kitchen. Open fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
Yes, Bernie. You go enjoy that food. Thank you so much for coming on in. I forgot to say, do any self-care after stream stuffs? You rock. I appreciate you. Kyle opened the fridge intending to find something to eat. We are going to eat the fridge.
Kyle
I have
pointed
decided.
his neck directly upwards and hoisted the fridge on top of his face.
Delicious.
Somehow, miraculously, he wrapped his mouth around the device.
I
He started to
unhinged.
swallow.
I unhinged my jaw. Before John Cena will be, and a month and 3 days before the OG Star Wars will be, as well as other things from the same year. Nice. Huzzah.
In one slow, horrible movement, the fridge slid down Kyle's throat.
Oh, Kyle, my man.
After many gurgles, pops, and snaps, Kyle felt relatively sure the fridge would not come back
I'm
out.
glad it would not come back out. But how are you going to remove that motherfucker? Like, seriously. I mean, I'm not even going to bring that up. He is an eel. Let us continue. Kyle walked to the center of the kitchen, having eaten the entire fridge. We're going to check the pantry.
Kyle wanted to access the pantry. but
Jackie
found it
is
was locked
excited
with
for
a small
Valsborg
keyhole.
and the bonfire.
The Valsborg and the bonfire. Yes. Yes, that is coming too. Oh, shit. You have to shit a fridge. I do. That is very exciting. Can't wait to pass that. I'm going to return to the hallway. I am going to the bedroom. We are sitting at the desk because that's where the small key is. Checking the desk drawer. Small key.
Kyle grabbed the small key he kept in his desk.
Let's see what's in here. Check. Back to room. Exit bedroom hallway. Move to kitchen. Check pantry.
Kyle wanted to access the pantry, but found it was locked with a small keyhole.
Well, we found the solution to that.
The pantry door lock creaked as if it hadn't moved for years, but eventually opened.
Okay, what's in there?
Instead of an assortment of canned goods and grains, Kyle's pantry stored his massive amount of bottled lard.
Wow, I thought I lost that. Oh my god. We're gonna chug it.
Kyle voraciously grabbed the closest bottle, snapped the neck against the wall, and sucked out all of the fat within a minute.
Yeah, Kyle. We're gonna chug it again.
Kyle wildly sucked down another bottle. He felt very sick.
Guess what we're gonna do?
Kyle's vomit and the lard were mixing in a way to make it hard to tell which was which.
Finish off the pantry.
As Kyle finished the last bottle of lard, he felt a wave of accomplishment come over him.
Well, Kyle will easily pass that fridge.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh shit. Lard and fridge. I can't wait to see what happens on the show. 2 hours. Return to hallway. Leave apartment. Visit downstairs neighbor? No. All right, we're going to do that next time. More.
Kyle hurried to the set.
With the fridge inside us.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
All right, Rachel, are you prepared for this?
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Rachel's smile quickly turned to shock as she realized Kyle had not put on clothes that day.
Yeah! Gonna go free ball on it.
Kyle waved and smiled broadly. Rachel uncomfortably averted her eyes.
Is this a crime? This feels like a crime.
Kyle started making his rounds around the room, greeting each crew member, none of whom looked at him directly.
I don't think it's a real word either. Why are they shaming me? I'm full of bottled lard and refrigerator, and I'm naked.
As it became apparent that Kyle had no intention of leaving, Rachel made some excuses and exited the set.
Am I the asshole moment? Rachel will see Kyle's wiener, hoping. I hope it is worth. I don't know.
One by one, the crew followed suit.
That seems like quite the success.
Kyle was left all alone.
Damn it! Kyle prepared by being a nudist. Hey, you gotta prepare. First decision of the morning was made wisely. Kyle exited his bed and took a quick glance around his bedroom. We're gonna go to the closet. We are going to choose an outfit for the day.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
No, I'm not picking the suit. Jean and swimming goggles. You never know when you're going to have to swim.
Kyle decided on a fashion-forward, casual style. He could barely see out of the goggles.
I mean, yeah. All right, back. Exit bedroom. We're going to check the locked door.
Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside.
Yes, skunk pasties. We will put the skunk pasties on the next round. Force the door with forehead. That sounds well thought out.
Kyle decided it would be best to try to force the door open with use of his face.
Yeah, that always works for me.
After smashing his features into solid wood for several minutes, Kyle gained severe short-term amnesia.
This sounds like a gift. Yay. Force with forehead. Yep. Apply directly to the forehead. The door. Yay, amnesia. Kyle has CTE. Yes, I feel like a professional wrestler. I mean, I didn't mention any names, so we're good. We're good. No TOS was broken today. Exit bedroom hallway. We're gonna eat something. We have a few hours. Open fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
Hello, joyous elephant. How are you doing tonight? I hope you are doing well. Thanks for coming on in. Let me give you a shouty there. Wabam, I got you. We are playing Kyle is famous. And Kyle is famous for his wild antics. So we're going to eat the condiments.
Kyle started to grab condiments from the fridge,
Ooh.
squirting them into his mouth with both hands.
Yeah, we love condiments here. Of course,
Ketchup,
you got it.
horseradish, and mayonnaise entered Kyle's mouth at a rate that soon overwhelmed his ability to swallow.
And we're eating condiments, too. We just slammed the door in the face. We got amnesia. And I think we're eating condiments due to the concussion, not because of free will or anything.
Kyle spewed the excess condiment slurry across the kitchen, covering the furniture and walls.
That sounds like a Kyle moment.
Kyle continued until all of the condiments had been emptied.
All of the condiments? Wow, Kyle, you must have been hungry. Wow. All right, return to hallway. We're gonna leave the apartment. Visit downstairs neighbor.
Kyle approached his downstairs neighbor's door and knocked. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door.
Consume Gabby!
Kyle unhinged his jaw
Yeah!
and swallowed Gabby whole.
Yes! I agree with this. We are so prepared for that interview now.
Job done, Kyle returned to the middle of the street.
Job well done. Visit tech store? Kyle walked into the clean white tech store. He was greeted by Techno Jim, an elaborate cutout mascot, playing soft music from a small microphone. Oh, Kyle the gulper eel. We're gonna steal Techno Jim.
Quickly, before the attendant could acknowledge him, Kyle grabbed Techno Jim
Woo!
by the shoulders.
Yeah, mischief. Steal it.
Finding that Techno Jim's cardboard feet were bolted to the ground, Kyle started to heave upwards. After several tugs, Techno Jim broke free, leaving one foot and one leg behind.
Okay.
Kyle glanced at the attendant, who was staring, bewildered, and ran outside.
All right. I guess we're showtime. All right, we got Techno Jim. We have Gabby in our stomach, which is not a kink. That is really weird. And we have a concussion. So, okay.
Kyle hurried to the set.
All right.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
The genuinity. All right. Rachel?
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
Yeah.
"Good evening, Kyle," she said, looking him in the eyes. "I've been looking forward to being here."
Go fuck yourself, Rachel.
Kyle roughly shoved Rachel out of her seat and placed Techno Jim in her stead.
Yeah! Techno Jim!
"Hello, Techno Jim," said Kyle. "I'm going to interview you today."
Yes, we are, you beautiful bastard.
Kyle grasped Techno Jim's hand and tried to shake it, but instead tore it off the cardboard frame.
I must ask, did Kyle have to unhinge his jaw to swallow Gabby?
Yes.
Thank goodness he ate all that lard Gabby and Fridge should shoot out the other end and hit the wall.
I'd love the seriousness too. I love Techno Jim is so like fun. It is. I love this game.
Kyle's producer, sensing viral media, pulled the bewildered Rachel out of frame and motioned the crew to go live.
Yeah, we're going live with this one. We're definitely going to be put into a padded cell.
Cameramen moved, lights flashed,
Oh,
and
yeah.
suddenly the studio was on air.
Woo! Kyle!
"Hi, I'm Kyle," said Kyle.
I'm
"And
Kyle."
tonight I'm going to interview a very special guest.
Yeah, it's not Rachel, that bitch.
He pointed at Techno Jim using the dismembered arm.
Techno Jim's dismembered arm or some random dismembered arm that we probably murdered someone.
Techno Jim started to smoke from the heat of the lights.
Oh no, not Jim.
"Would you like to introduce yourself?" asked Kyle. Knowing Jim would probably not speak, Kyle took it upon himself to be his voice as well.
The show must go on. As another shit stain once said, fuck it, we'll do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it. Yeah.
"Hi, Kyle," he said, raising the pitch of his voice. "My
This
name
game
is
does
Rachel
remind me of
May,
being
and I'm
high
a
on
very
shrooms without the
special
cost."
guest."
I just like shrooms. What the fuck? My name is Rachel Mann. Oh my god. That is not Jim.
Rachel's expression of confusion turned to shock. Well, Rachel, you look way too thin and absolutely terrible, and you should feel ugly.
Yeah, you
Kyle
should
gave
feel
Jim
ugly.
a meaningful stare.
The narrator, though, I know.
Wow, Kyle, he said. I sure wish I could look like you.
Full of Gabby and disgusting things.
Techno Jim burst into flames.
Into flames.
Instantaneously, the sprinkler system initiated. Curtains of water poured down from the rafters.
So it's just like FNAF.
Within seconds, the production equipment was doused in water. The set was soon aburst with electrical fires.
This seems like a mistake. Oops.
Kyle's crew abandoned their posts as cameramen and sound mixers to try to put the fires out.
They should be fired. You should never leave your post.
As the crew scrambled around, the cameras continued to run. Kyle sat, motionless, staring forward.
As one does. As one does.
Eventually, the fires were all put out. Kyle's producer shut off the broadcast, leaving Kyle's vacant stare as the final frame.
Electrical fires, which you should not douse in water. That is true. Very true. Helpful tip of the day. And no forks in any outlets either, because that is a no-no. That is definitely not something you should do. But if you do it, record it and send it to me. But don't do that for legal reasons. Please do not do that, anyone. Do not do that. I am not going down for that. Okay. No way. Eventually, the fires were all put out.
Kyle's ratings skyrocketed.
If no fork in outlets, why outlet fork shape? I mean, true, grenade on head. That is very true. I hope you're doing great tonight. Welcome on in. We are doing our thing. We are Kyle, apparently. Kyle is me, and we are famous, and we are on a TV show, and we are doing wild and crazy shit. I don't know why I'm holding my arms out like a chef, but we're doing it. Jar of Mars, how you doing? Well, everyone's here. Oh my god. This is wild. PSA, there are different types of fire extinguishers for different types of fires. Ooh. How many holes have we punched in drywall today? I'm working on that. So far, we've eaten a fridge. And we've eaten the whole live person, unhinged our jaw, and then gave ourselves a concussion by slamming our head into the door. I'm doing great. How are you? It's been a while. Yeah, it has. I hope you're doing good. What did you play? You played Dead by Daylight. Nice. But yeah, spring break's coming up, so I wanted to stream a bit more than I have been. But yeah, welcome all in. How many holes? Yes, a lot of holes. There will be a lot of holes.
Techno Jim became a staple on the show, often ending up destroyed by the end of each episode.
I mean, that Techno Jim. It's that rascally scamp.
Although Rachel did not come back on the show, her cardboard portrayal did.
Nah.
Rachel was very popular.
We don't need Rachel. We have Rachel. Phrasing. We're punching holes in walls? Yes. Because that is a very Kyle thing to do. And I feel like a Kyle tonight. Rachel. I interviewed Rachel. Not Rachel. Rachel. Alright, we're going to reset. Kyle's first decision in the morning was made wisely. Wither away.
Kyle decided to stay put and wither away. Kyle withered successfully and died.
Yes! Ha ha! Shucks.
Kyle is now a ghost.
I am a ghost.
This does not relieve him of his responsibilities.
God damn it. I keep trying. I definitely heard that in a Batman voice. I did too. Kyle exited his bed and took a quick glance around his bedroom. What do we do? What did you want me to do? Skunk pasties, yes?
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
Skunk pasties on a
Kyle
dead
chose the pasties
ghost.
made out of mashed skunk flesh.
Scrummy. As Paul Hollywood would say.
Getting the slimy garments to stay proved difficult, so Kyle opted to stick them to his body with hot glue.
That seems like a permanent choice, but I'm with you, Kyle. We're dead. We have skunk pasties on our nipples, and they are super glued, hot glued. All right, so sit at desk. Okay. We are going to check the desk drawer. Flashlight.
Kyle grabbed the flashlight, but after jiggling the switch, he found it was out of batteries.
What's more disturbing, using the skunk pasties or having them ready for just such an occasion? Well, I mean, Ed Gein was always prepared. And, you gotta, like Martha Stewart once said, look at the CDs. Yes, we shall. Check in the drawer. CDs. Kyle began shuffling through the dusty CD pile that held all his favorite music. Many of the CDs were unlabeled or broken. Take carnival music. I Am a Clown. Take festival music. Take dance music. He really was ahead of his time. Like, wow. Yes. Ahead. Haha. Wait, that was Dahmer. Wait, was there a head? Did Ed Gein do the head thing? Or no, he dug up the bodies and then he skinned them, and he only murdered one person. He wasn't a serial killer. He was greatly unhinged. If we were doing a head pun, that would be more of a Jeffrey Dahmer, I think. Yes. Carnival. Hell yeah. I don't know, man. There's a lot of murderers out there. That is true. No, I feel like the head thing was Dahmer. Yeah, I mean, it could be a multiple thing. I'm sure. Ed Gein did the skin alive. Yes. No, he didn't do the skin alive. He did the skin dead. Dead skin, not alive. True. Carnival music. More of a Teddy K person myself. Good choice. Teddy Kaczynski. Oh my God, yes, true. The cabin and the mail bombs. True. I feel that. I am under total agreement with you. He was the Leatherface inspo, right? Yep. And he was Silence of the Lamb inspo too. He inspired a lot of horror movies, Ed Gein. But yes, Teddy K. We know who Teddy K is. Something Industrial Revolution. Hell yeah, Ted K was Unabomber. That very true. I like Teddy Bunny. True. That's what his girlfriend called him. Bunny. Which then they used in the You series for Joe Goldberg, which is also interesting. I know a lot about serial killers. It doesn't mean that I kill anyone when I'm not streaming. It just means that I have weird and interesting hobbies like watching true crime and true crime podcasts. Or Unabomber, I never know. That was his AOL name. Oh my God. All right, we grabbed the carnival time. Kyle made his way over to his desk. We're going to write some notes.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Is your mother a mother?
Kyle wrote down his second question.
Ever eaten a raw egg whole?
Kyle wrote down his third question.
What's your funniest story?
Kyle wrote down his last question.
Are you guilty?
Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk.
Depends on how you mean that regarding mother. True. Watching true crime podcasts must be super boring. I mean, if you don't apply it. What? Oh, never mind. All right, 8 hours left. What do we do? We're going to grab some lunch, I think. Methinks. Move to kitchen. It took us an hour to move from the bedroom to the kitchen. Wow. Open fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending
Look at
to
the
find
words.
something to eat.
Must be super boring. Watching true crime podcasts. Ah, yes. Ha ha. True. That is very true. But I do like to watch paint dry on walls, though, too. So, be the serial killer you wish to see in this world, or wherever that quote goes. Very true. That is very inspiring. I feel inspired tonight. Thank you very much. Never. Lots of fun and learn some great tips. True. I meant vodcast because video podcasts are a thing, and I am not a dummy. I am not a dummy. Oh, I want it.
Kyle started scraping streaks of crud and spots of mold off of the walls of his fridge.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
After wadding it into a crusty, moist ball, Kyle
Oh.
popped it into his mouth and began to chew.
Oh, so good.
Several minutes of crunching later, Kyle finished and swallowed the ball whole. It felt sticky in his stomach.
Oh, shit. I ran out of time.
Kyle hurried to the set. Per normal, he ceased to be a ghost before he arrived.
Damn it, not again. You grab a snack, Lupine. I hope it wasn't the fridge crust. I mean, I'm
Sitting
feeling hungry
across from
too.
his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
All right.
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
Uh-huh.
Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here.
No.
Kyle
Okay.
responded.
Not that bitch again, Rach. Scream!
Kyle stretched his arms wide, tilted his neck upwards, and was interrupted by his producer telling him and Rachel that it was time to start the show.
All right, we're going to start an interview.
A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle.
It's better than James Cameron. Or, wait. Not James Cameron. That's the dude that likes blue dudes in the Titanic. Who's the one that I'm thinking of that was like the British dude that was in Cats? This show name sucks. And he was in Cats, and that's the only thing I remember. Oh, he was in Doctor Who, too. But he turned out to be a real asshole, apparently, on the set. Blah, 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 blah. James Corden. Wow, that took a second. Okay.
Kyle vomited all of the horrible things he had eaten earlier onto the floor.
As one does.
Rachel looked at Kyle, concerned, gave a couple coughs, and decided to play it cool and keep the show running.
What a bitch.
Kyle stopped, then vomited again, then continued with a shaky voice. Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction.
I sound awful. Produce CD.
As Rachel started to reply, Kyle clamped his hand over her mouth.
It is an Eric Andre bit. I love it so much. Oh, yeah.
Hush, he said. I need to do something before we can continue.
I love the voice.
Kyle removed the CD he had brought to the interview and placed it in a nearby player deck. The sound system kicked into action, piping Kyle's music throughout the studio.
Oh, that's awful.
Rachel briefly listened, a blank expression on her face.
This is a nightmare for Rachel, isn't it?
Smiling, Kyle closed his eyes and enjoyed the music for a moment. Then, he spoke.
Yeah, he's got a mixtape. Oh, this is awful.
All right, now everything's ready. Let's begin.
Oh, Kyle. Oh, Kyle.
Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier.
Are you guilty?
Rachel. Are you guilty? Kyle threw his questions on the floor, stood up, and pointed at her. I'm sorry, Kyle, said Rachel. What on earth is this music? It's very... well, it's something.
You don't like my music? Well, get the fuck off my set.
It's an old favorite, Rachel, said Kyle. This is what I grew up on.
Yeah.
It's part of my most special collection.
Special collection, yes.
Kyle and Rachel sat silently, the music playing in the background. Rachel began to frown. Suddenly, the wall next to Kyle exploded.
What? Why?
Through the hole stepped several men in dazzling, flamboyant costumes of bright color. They held guitars, pianos, and other instruments.
It's my time.
Kyle, said the man in front. We are the band of your childhood.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
Kyle's jaw dropped, smiling. He put his hands to his cheeks. His eyes sparkled.
Let's interview them instead.
We have come to issue a grievance about playing our music on TV without a license.
I wish it was the Kool-Aid Man. What the fuck?
The man took his guitar in both hands and began slamming Kyle's face repeatedly.
Oh, shit.
After several hours, the grievance had been sufficiently repaid. The band left through the hole they had created in the wall.
Someone's got to pay for that hole in the wall.
Kyle lay on the floor, thinking about what had happened.
This is pretty interesting.
Rachel slowly slid to his side.
Oh, what? You didn't help me, Rachel.
Are you feeling okay, Kyle?
No.
She asked. She had a concerned expression on her face.
I just got beat up by my band.
Have you ever met your childhood idol, Rachel? Asked Kyle. The person you looked up to for as long as you can remember. I can't say I have, said Rachel.
I feel for Rachel.
Kyle raised both fists into the air. It feels amazing!
Yeah! Woo!
Kyle spent the rest of Rachel's interview chatting happily about meeting his lifelong favorite band.
Ooh, a return with biltong and string cheese. Very nice. And I see we are continuing to make good decisions. We are, yes.
Rachel listened and asked questions politely, seeming unfazed that her moment on TV had been uprooted.
I mean, all right, Rachel, you're being a trooper.
Eventually, the studio was out of time and the broadcast shut off. Kyle and Rachel walked out of the studio together. Kyle was grinning widely. The two said their goodbyes and walked off in separate directions.
Okay. Oh my God, Penance, how's it going? Thanks for coming on in. Thank you for the sub. How you doing tonight? Give me 1 sec. We're gonna get you taken care of. How have you been? You were playing 7 Days to Die. Ooh, survival. Biltong is sort of like beef jerky. Ooh. Someone in my local area got shot for beef jerky or something. True story. Local news. It won't be on national news, so. But yeah, welcome aboard. We are Kyle. We are making great decisions. We are having an amazing time as Kyle. We have committed very many atrocities, and we are continuing on. I've heard the story. Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Grenade.
As Kyle walked home, he felt like the interview had been everything he had hoped it to be.
I mean, we got beaten up by our band. I love Kyle. I love being Kyle. Me too. Never a dull moment in a place. That is very true. Holy shitballs. You are not exaggerating. Hey, how's it going? I'm doing good. How are you? Spring break is coming up, so I am fucking around and finding out, and we are Kyle tonight. Go check out Petty King Pressure. Go check out Penance. Go check out Jars of Mars. Go check out Lupine, Bernie, everyone, Binary, Ninja Cat, Cammy. Yes. I think I got everyone. If I did not, Meowish, thank you so much for the 13 months. The whole gang is here. Hell yeah. Let me get that. We are doing it. We are thriving. We are chilling. How are you? I hope you're doing good. Petty King, yeah, we are all here tonight. Damn. You're alive. I'm glad you're alive. Meow. Meowdy there. We are Kyle tonight. And we are living through Kyle. And Kyle is awesome.
Kyle had gotten everything he had ever wanted as a child.
We just got beaten up. I'm glad you and Penn and Lupine are alive. And yes, I'm glad they're alive too. Alright. Kyle played music. He did not play music. Oh my god. Thank you so much. Ooh, grenade on head. Thank you so much for gifting a sub. Y'all are amazing. And of course, JD in the community. Twitch has decided to allow me to see chat. What do you mean? Is chat not... Is something up with chat? I'm confused. Let me know. Yes, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Jar of Mars. I appreciate you. We are going to reset. Kyle's first decision in the morning was made wisely. We exited the bed. Kyle exited his bedroom and took a quick glance around his bedroom. We are going to open the closet. We're going to check the rusty locker.
Kyle knelt down and inspected the old, rusty container that had been in his closet for ages. It was locked, but had a blade-shaped slot in the top.
We need a blade then. That's curious. I'm very curious now. But I'm glad that chat is working now. That is a relief. Kyle returned to the center of the bedroom. We are going to the closet. We are choosing an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
You know, that slick suit better be covered in oil.
Kyle miraculously crammed his dumpy body into the suit.
Dumpy
the chest
body.
pockets were filled with random knickknacks.
I kind of want to know what's in the suit. Okay. Inspect rusty locker.
Kyle knelt
Damn it.
down and inspected the...
All right. We lost an hour in the closet. Scavenge.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for...
Resources. Of
Kyle
course.
began to comb through the damp piles of filth and mold on his floor in search of helpful items.
You need to clean up, Kyle. You need to clean up desperately, my dude. Huzzah.
After finding and eating a few bits of crumbs and old cheese, Kyle found something much more important.
My will to live?
Indeed, it was the corpse of Harry, a friend that had gone missing years ago while at Kyle's house.
It keeps on getting worse.
Kyle was glad to see him again, but was unsure of whether to interrupt such an important day with Harry business.
Of course. Harry business is important. Let's deal with Harry business.
Kyle hoisted Harry onto his shoulder and took him outside.
Please let it be like Weekend at Bernie's. Please let it be like Weekend at Bernie's.
Kyle began dragging Harry's body down the street, drawing many, many stares.
It's like y'all never it's like y'all never grabbed your dead friend and drugged them through the streets. You know, like that is something that everyone does, right? I mean, yeah.
Kyle knew exactly where he needed to take Harry's corpse. On a lovely playdate, just the two of them.
Why not? Why not?
Kyle and Harry started at the arcade. Kyle used Harry's arms to operate the joysticks and push buttons.
Sure. Roll on the carpet first. Right, it's just business as usual. Yeah.
After 5 or 6 different games, the two friends had enough tickets for a single candy bar.
Just a single. Oh, are we gonna share the candy bar like in what is it, Lady and the Tramp? Ooh.
They took their prize to the local park for eating. Kyle tried to feed some of the chocolate bar to Harry, but Harry seemed to not have an appetite.
Huh. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
After eating, Kyle noticed a nearby playground. He dragged Harry over.
Okay. All right. Lady and the Tramp, that candy bar. I wish.
Kyle tried to figure out a way to swing Harry onto the swing set, but lacking the ability to grip, Harry kept falling out.
It probably was the rigor mortis and probably the dead weight, maybe? Yeah.
Instead,
Aye.
Kyle started to lug Harry to the top of the slide and shove him down time and time again.
Oh, he's gonna be missing some skin.
Finally, Kyle took Harry to the movies to see as many popular films as their pocket change allowed.
We didn't get any pocket change, though. Harry should be sleeping by now. He should be.
Kyle quickly found that he had no pocket change, so he searched through Harry's pockets until he found his wallet.
Skin slippage.
Kyle bought 2 tickets to A Love Romance. After getting inside, Kyle left Harry to go find a restroom.
You know, this is a love story. I'm sort of thinking TBI might be the least of Kyle's problems. That is true.
By the time Kyle had finished using the restroom, he had forgotten that he brought Harry along.
Oh my God, we forgot the dead body.
Kyle watched a love romance by himself. Harry's corpse sat on a bench in the atrium.
That seems very rude.
While Kyle was in the movie, a beautiful thing happened.
I can't wait to hear this.
Harry's corpse, imbued with the power of friendship and love, was reanimated.
Okay.
Harry's old, rotten flesh gained color and life. His fingernails regrew. His missing eye came back.
He was missing an eye?
By
Okay.
the time the movie was over, Harry was able to greet Kyle with a large, friendly hug as his old self.
That I did not I didn't expect that either. Holy shit.
Kyle was confused but delighted to have his long-lost friend meet him on his way out of the theater.
And maybe it was just the power of friendship. My Little Pony.
The two made plans to get drinks together and parted ways for the day.
There's so many questions. Was there a missing report? Like,
Kyle returned home, forgetting about the interview with Rachel.
oh, all right. Kyle helped a friend. Kyle had many adventures around town. Okay. All right. 30 hours until the interview. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. We exit the bed. Sit at the desk. Check in the drawer. Small key? No. Small key.
Kyle
Sure.
grabbed the small key he kept in his desk.
Check in desk drawer. Sort of change.
Kyle scooped up the change scattered around the desk drawer.
Okay, let's think here. Should I write the notes? No, all right. Back to room. We're gonna exit bedroom, move to kitchen, open. No, check pantry.
Kyle wanted to access the pantry, but found it was locked with a small keyhole.
We're gonna need some of that lard.
The pantry door lock creaked as if it hadn't moved for years.
Okay.
Instead of an assortment of canned goods and grains, Kyle's pantry stored his massive amount of bottled lard.
Grab it.
Kyle grabbed a bottle of lard and stashed it on his person for later use.
Okay, sure. Return to the hallway. Check locked doorway.
Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside.
I have an idea. All right, we're gonna do the questions real quick. Return to bedroom. Sit at desk. Write notes.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Are you a mother?
Kyle wrote down.
Diet tips.
Kyle wrote down his third question.
I purposely ran over a puppy.
Kyle wrote down his last question.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Kyle ripped his page of notes
Back to room. Exit. Check locked door.
Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but
come on.
found quickly that the door was locked
Come on.
from the inside.
Force. Damn it.
Kyle hurried to the set.
No. Ah. All right.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
I highly doubt that. The more you say that, the more I doubt it.
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Rachel's smile quickly turned to shock as she
Damn it.
realized Kyle had not put on clothes that day.
I knew I forgot something.
Kyle waved and smiled broadly. Rachel uncomfortably averted her eyes.
Damn it.
Kyle started making his rounds around the room, greeting each crew member, none of whom looked at him directly.
Darn it.
As it became apparent that Kyle had no intention of leaving, Rachel made some excuses and exited the set. One by one,
All right.
Kyle would...
All right. We're not going to be a nudist. Reset. Exit the bed. Sit at the desk. Write notes.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Am I a mother?
Kyle wrote down his second question.
Ever eaten a raw
Kyle
egg?
wrote down his third question.
Do you ever smile?
Kyle wrote
Hey,
down his
bits and
last
crafts.
question.
Are you guilty?
Kyle ripped his
Ooh,
page of
thank you.
notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk.
Thank you for giving a shout out there. I hope you're doing good. We are playing Kyle is Famous. We are having a blast. We're doing some weird shit. Okay. We did the questions. We're gonna open closet and choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
You know, this is my favorite. We're gonna put the skunk
Kyle chose
pasties
the
on,
pasties made out of mashed skunk flesh.
as one does. That is a Kyle move.
Getting the slimy garments to stay proved difficult, so Kyle opted to stick them to his body with hot glue.
I mean, these are my favorite pasties. Scavenge?
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for...
Bugs.
Kyle started to pick between the fuzz of his bedroom carpet, hoping to catch a stray beetle or two. Soon, he had a small handful of various insects, dead and alive.
Save for later.
Kyle stashed the wriggling mass for later use.
Ew. Exit bedroom hallway. Check lock door.
Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway.
Come
but
on,
found
Kyle, you
quickly
got
that the
this.
Kyle decided it would be best to try to force the door open with use of his face.
Blunt forced object.
After smashing his features into solid wood for several minutes, Kyle gained severe short-term amnesia.
I wonder how Rachel will like them apples. All right. Leave apartment. Visit tech store. Ask attendant for free samples.
Kyle asked the store attendant whether or not they offered any free samples to important customers.
Important customers. Oh my god! Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Bits and Crafts. Grenade on head. You are awesome, and I appreciate you so very, 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 very much. You are awesome.
The attendant gave Kyle a confused and slightly vacant look. Kyle began to beg for a free sample.
Please give me the free sample, I beg you.
Wanting Kyle to leave, the attendant grabbed a decrepit phone meant for spare parts and held it out.
Grab with teeth.
Kyle firmly clamped his mouth around the outstretched phone, creating several punctures in the screen.
Okay.
Kyle grunted and yanked with his head until the attendant let go of the phone. The phone is now Kyle's to use forever.
Yeah. We never give up. All right. Showtime.
Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
That bitch.
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
She did?
"Good evening, Kyle," she said, looking him in the eyes. "I've been looking forward to being here."
You're so fake, Rachel.
Kyle responded.
Forget her name from Amnesia.
"Hello. You." Kyle's ears began to ring from his concussion.
Oh no.
Rachel looked at Kyle, slightly confused, but continued smiling.
Yeah.
Before she noticed the glazed look in Kyle's eyes, the producer approached. "Time to get started," he said,
Oh, no.
putting a hand on Kyle's shoulder. "Let's get stationed."
Oh no.
Kyle sat in the nearest chair, which was Rachel's. After a moment, Rachel hesitantly sat in the host chair.
Okay. She's gonna ask
A
us
moment after
questions.
seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
Okay.
"Good morning, everyone," said Kyle. "My name is..."
Oh no, we forgot our own name. Damn it. Kyle.
Kyle made a desperate effort to remember his name, or really anything.
This is close to punching your wall, punching your hand through drywall.
Kyle looked at Rachel. "Do you know who I am?"
Yeah, do
he
you
asked.
know?
Rachel looked back, confused. "Who are you?" "Well, if you're not Kyle, I don't know who you are." Rachel smiled sweetly.
I need to go to the hospital.
Kyle made up his mind that he was probably Kyle.
Nah, you second guess that bitch.
"Well, he said, "I'm Kyle."
Yep.
A long silence followed. Eventually, Rachel spoke again. And I'm Rachel. Hi, everyone." She waved.
We have been putting her through the ringers.
"Hi, Rachel," said Kyle. "So why are we here?"
I don't know. Why are we here?
Rachel was visibly worried. "Ha ha, funny," she said. "Weren't you planning on asking me any questions?"
No. I have a
I
concussion.
mean, I don't have any ideas, said Kyle.
Nice.
Kyle kept staring at Rachel. Someone coughed. Kyle looked around and noticed the crew.
Oh, no.
Who on earth are all of you? He asked. Nobody answered.
All right.
Kyle got out of his chair and walked off frame, leaving Rachel alone with millions of viewers.
It's do or die, Rachel. Good luck.
Rachel smiled at the camera nervously. Well, she said, let me tell you some knock-knock jokes.
They better be good.
Eventually, the producer ended the broadcast early due to technical issues.
Damn.
Kyle woke up in his bed the next day, remembering nothing about what had happened.
Forgot everything. I forgot everything. Damn. Oh, there's a new one. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. Browse social media. That's what we
Kyle
do.
started to scroll through news articles on his phone.
Okay.
Stay Up Late with Kyle ranked #1 and #2 show on television.
How did we get both rankings? That's a good question.
New East Bridge being constructed after being found to not actually exist. Authorities investigating.
Oh no, we're doom scrolling, aren't we?
Another grand larceny and crime spree streak. Evidence points to perpetrator fleeing the country. Rachel May to unexpectedly leave the country on very, very long vacation after interview tonight.
I see what you're putting down.
Who is the bug vigilante recently spotted pursuing larcenists?
I know.
Kyle fails to show up to several charity events.
Oh no. Oh no. I think I'm in trouble.
Bug vigilante shows up to charity events with fresh-baked pastries.
And then next
Donations
time.
flourish.
After we do the doom scrolling, what we're going to do next is we're going to use that information to accuse Rachel and have the bug vigilante show up.
Hot dogs making resurgence as fuel source for both humans and tugboats.
True. You know what hot dogs are made out of, right?
Phone model recalled. Techno Gym stores blame overuse by customers. Kyle's phone exploded in his hands from overuse.
How did that happen? It was only a couple hours. Kyle exited his bed, took a quick glance around his room, and put clothes on.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit.
There you go.
Kyle miraculously crammed his dumpy body into the suit.
Okay. Exit bedroom. Move.
Kyle quickly crouched
Gossip.
down. Kyle firmly pressed his ear into the carpet, hoping to hear some stray words from the neighbors below. I heard Rachel May is going on a trip out of the country soon. Oh, girlfriend, tell me more. Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight misdoers. There was a stunned silence. Then a door opened, and someone exited the neighbor's apartment.
Okay. All right. We have a little bit of time.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Are you a mother?
Kyle wrote down his second question.
What are some diet tips?
Kyle wrote down his third question.
Do you ever smile?
Kyle wrote down his last question.
Are you guilty?
Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk.
Fingers crossed, guys. All right. Oh, come on. More?
Kyle hurried to the set.
All right.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
I highly doubt that now, knowing that you're going to be leaving the country after this interview.
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
Bullshit, Rachel.
Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here.
And I've been looking forward to giving you the third degree.
Kyle responded.
Answer politely.
And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. You are a most welcome guest.
Even when Kyle's trying, he seems a little off.
After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
She is going to fall.
Good evening, everybody, said Kyle.
Fingers crossed.
My neighbor is a bug vigilante.
She is.
With nothing more to say on the matter, he fell silent.
Ah, yes.
Rachel, also on camera, stared at her hands and wondered when she was going to be introduced.
Come on.
The producer started cutting to different camera angles to break the tension.
Fuck. I did it wrong.
Kyle continued to remain silent and stare forward blankly.
As one does.
After several minutes, neighbor Gabby walked out onto set. Hi, everyone, she said, smiling hollowly. My name is Gabby, and I'm not a bug vigilante.
Bullshit, Gabby. We all know.
False. Kyle looked at Gabby and then returned to staring forward. Gabby began to reply, but was interrupted by a bug-shaped intercom on her belt.
Mm-hmm.
Bug girl!
It's Bug squawked. Girl.
A robbery's in progress on East 3rd. Report immediate!
It is Batman.
Gabby threw the intercom on the ground and crushed it under her foot.
Okay.
After a beat, she spoke tightly. Something has come up suddenly and I must go. Gabby left the set. Well, said Kyle, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Rachel.
Fuck.
Kyle got up, shook Rachel's hand again, and walked past the cameras. Not knowing what else to do, the producer ended the broadcast. In the coming days, fans of both...
All right, we got that one. All right. Reset. Browse social media.
Kyle started to scroll through...
1,
Stay up late with...
2,
New East Bridge being constructed after...
3.
Another grand larceny and crime spree streak. Evidence points to perpetrator fleeing the country.
4.
Rachel May to unexpectedly leave the country on very, very long vacation after interview tonight.
Oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you,
Who is
Rachel.
the bug vigilante recently spotted pursuing larcenists?
Mm-hmm.
Kyle fails to show up to several charity events.
God damn it. Damn you. All right. Clothes. Choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit.
Suit of armor.
Kyle was unsure of what exactly caused him to decide to wear his armor, but it felt like the right thing to do.
It will be, yeah.
After much squeezing and sweating, Kyle managed to wrap the metal suit around his dumpy self.
I feel like that's some shade by the narrator. Okay. All right, we're going to... All right, exit bedroom. Wait, do we tell Bug Vigilant... exit? Leave apartment. Visit downstairs neighbor.
Kyle approached his downstairs neighbor's
We're not going to
door
eat her
and
this time.
knocked.
I promise.
A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door.
Greet and start conversation.
Good morning, neighbor, said Kyle cheerfully.
Ask
Gabby
Gabby.
looked at Kyle expectantly.
Ask Gabby about Kyle. Ask Gabby about Rachel.
Gabby, Kyle asked, what are your true thoughts about Rachel May? Oh, Rachel? Gabby said. She's a wonderful woman. Her generous acts have inspired more good work than bad.
That she knows.
Gabby trailed off, not meeting Kyle's eyes. After several uncomfortable minutes of silence, Kyle turned around and left.
I know I missed something. Give review of free sample.
This phone, said Kyle, is several years old and has exposed wires coming out of the back.
I wonder why.
Kyle continued. Also, the screen has had issues ever since I used it to hammer nails into the wall.
You know, that would do it. I mean, honestly, when I smash my phone into a wall, it usually doesn't last very well.
Furthermore, when I submerge it in water, I get severely shocked until it runs out of battery.
Well, Kyle.
The attendant looked at Kyle, pursed his lips, and said nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all?
Feeling he had made his argument, Kyle decided to leave.
But we didn't get our money back.
Kyle hurried to the set.
Okay.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
Did I forget to get the interview questions?
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
I knew I was forgetting
Good evening,
something.
Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here.
Bullshit.
Kyle responded.
Answer politely.
And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. You are a most welcome guest. After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the
I
broadcast.
forgot the questions.
A moment after seating,
Oh, no.
the studio lights brightened
Oh,
and the
no.
cameras clicked on.
I've had dreams about this.
Good evening, everyone,
fuck.
said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle.
We are not prepared.
Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction.
Become Rachel May. All right, curious.
However, said Kyle, suddenly dropping his voice, Rachel May is not sitting next to me.
Okay.
She is not new to this show. She did not walk in before me.
This is new.
In fact, said Kyle, I am Rachel May.
Live it. Yes.
Rachel looked at Kyle, confused, and silently mouthed the words, You are who?
I'm Rachel May.
Kyle stood up quickly and threw his arm high above him, pointing upwards.
Ooh. Yes.
I have never been, Kyle!
Never!
I have never been the host of the show Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Never! I am Spartacus.
Kyle looked and pointed directly at the camera. I am here for but one reason, to interview myself.
Dear Lord. This
Kyle
took a
sat
twist.
down in his chair and went to produce the notes he had taken earlier.
Did I take notes?
It was then that Kyle remembered that he had not bothered to prepare any notes for the interview.
Sorry, I forgot.
Realizing he did not know how to handle this situation, Kyle began sweating profusely.
But reasons.
Firstly, he said, Is your name Kyle?
No, my name's Rachel.
No! Kyle slammed his
No!
fist down repeatedly. Then he stopped talking.
Okay.
A thick, uncomfortable silence hung over the studio.
Why?
The silence did not end.
No?
The cameras continued to roll. Nobody moved or spoke. Eventually, Rachel got out of her chair and walked off screen.
We didn't need her anyway.
One by one, members of the crew followed suit.
Rude.
Eventually, Kyle was left alone in the studio, camera still running, silently sitting in frame.
Yeah, this is a good one.
This episode of Stay Up Late with Kyle became the longest episode in television history.
Job well done, boys.
Kyle
Hell
continued
yeah.
to sit in front of the camera all night and into the morning, wishing it would end. As evening fell again, the crew shuffled back in one by one, getting in places to film that day's episode.
Are we just going to continue?
Kyle continued to sit motionless, cameras rolling, as the crew chatted about their days and got in position.
So this is life now.
Eventually, the crew officially started the next episode. Kyle was prompted to introduce himself again.
Oh, no.
Kyle had produced an incredibly artistic episode.
Okay. Kyle is artistic. All right. Works for me. Reset to interview.
Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
Oh, I forgot the questions again.
As Kyle approached her, Rachel
Damn
looked up
it.
and smiled. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here.
Oh, I smell bullshit.
Kyle responded. Kyle stretched his arms wide, tilted his neck upwards, and was interrupted by his producer telling him and Rachel that it was time to start the show.
No, the show must go on.
Kyle shoved his producer out of the way, spread his arms wide, and began to scream loudly.
Mm-hmm.
He began to rotate slowly, screaming throughout, lightly brushing his hands against the faces of Rachel and his producer.
Mm-hmm.
After several minutes, Kyle was finished. He slowly put his hands to his sides and smiled.
I should have went back, yeah.
I'm ready, said
I'm
Kyle.
ready.
Rachel blinked at Kyle, shrugged, and walked over to her seat.
Okay.
A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
Got it.
Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle.
That is an awful name. You are definitely right on the money.
Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction.
All right, we're not going to be Rachel.
Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she said. I'm glad to be here.
Are you?
In response, Kyle collapsed on the floor.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
From a combination of stressful preparation
Fuck!
and not eating anything, Kyle had passed out.
Shit. Diabetic coma.
Nobody in the studio
Shit.
quite knew what to do with him. They began to poke
There.
Kyle in the back to see if he moved.
Did I move?
After a while, they ended the broadcast, shut off the lights, and went home.
Dude, give me some food or some sugar.
Kyle was left face first on the floor.
Rude. Very rude. All right. Reset. All right.
Kyle started to scroll through news articles on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
Stay up late with Kyle.
1,
New East Bridge being constructed after
2,
another grand larceny. And
3.
Rachel May to unexpectedly leave the country on very, very long vacation after interview tonight.
Yeah, they don't care about their boss. They're just like, fuck him. Like, he should have eaten. Like, they should have taken me to the hospital at least.
Who is the bug vigilante recently spotted pursuing larcenists? Kyle fails to show up to several charity events.
All right, close. Open the closet. Choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
I'm going with the armor.
Kyle was unsure of what exactly caused
More.
after
Back to room. It's after the vacation one, right? Yes. Yep. We're gonna sit at desk. Write notes.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Are you a mother?
Kyle wrote down his second
What
question.
are some diet tips?
Kyle wrote down his third question.
What's your funniest story?
Kyle wrote down his last question.
Are you guilty?
Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk.
Okay. Fuck, I don't have a lot of time for this. Scavenge.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for...
Gossip.
Kyle firmly pressed his... There was a stop.
Okay. Ah, shit. Shit. Open fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
Eat the condiments. Damn it.
Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Kyle responded. "And I as well, Rachel." And after other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to... A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
I kind of want to accuse her with the information that I have about the bridge.
"Good evening, everyone," said Kyle, looking at the camera.
Am I gonna fall
Welcome
over again?
back to Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Probably.
Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction.
I'm going to fall over.
Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. "Hello, Kyle," she said. "I'm glad to be here." In response, Kyle collapsed on the floor.
Damn you!
From a combination... Nobody in the studio...
Okay. All right. We're not going to deal with the bug lady. Reset. Browse.
Kyle started...
1, 2,
Another grand larceny and crime spree.
3.
Rachel May to unexpectedly leave the country on very, very long vacation after interview tonight.
4.
Who is the bug vigilante recently spotted pursuing larcenists?
Okay. Yep. That's what we're going to do. Write the questions.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Are you a mother? Am I a mother? Is your mother a mother? Then go to the kitchen and eat stuff. Yeah.
Kyle wrote down his second question.
Diet tips.
Kyle wrote down his third question.
You ever smile?
Kyle wrote down his last
Are
question.
you guilty?
Kyle ripped his page...
Exit bedroom to hallway. Move to kitchen. Open fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
I'm not gonna eat the fridge.
Kyle constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast, along with a small fruit cup and grilled sausage.
You're not dressed. Wait, by the way. Fuck! Oh shit. Do I eat or smash? Eat.
Kyle ate his breakfast slowly and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite.
Thank you for reminding me. Return to hallway. Move to return to bedroom. Open closet. Choose outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
I was gonna be a nudist again accidentally.
Kyle was unsure of what exactly caused him to decide to wear his armor, but it felt like the right thing to do.
I'm probably gonna get
After
stabbed.
much squeezing and sweating, Kyle managed to wrap the metal suit around his dumpy self.
Dumpy self. Oh my god. Narrator. Hey, Kareen. I hope you're doing good. Thanks for coming on in. Let me get you. Whoa, thank you so much for giving Kareen a shout out there. You were playing Marvel Rivals. I hope all went well. Enjoy your lurk. I appreciate you. And we're gonna try to catch a criminal. Sit at desk. Open the closet. Scavenge. Do I have enough room for anything? Check the locked door.
Kyle walked over to the
All right.
Kyle hurried to the set.
Hurried. I did hurry. True.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
The more and more I hear about this, this person.
As Kyle
Rachel.
approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
Oh no.
"Good evening,
No.
Kyle," she said, looking him in the eyes. "I've been looking forward to being here."
Have you? Have you really?
Kyle responded.
Sure. Answer politely.
"And I as well, Rachel," answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. "You are a most welcome guest."
Okay,
After
Kyle.
other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights
Fingers
brightened
crossed.
and the cameras clicked on.
All right. Come on.
"Good evening, everyone," said Kyle, looking at the camera.
No
"Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Oh yeah, we're out. Stay up late with Kyle.
Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction."
Nor does she.
Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. "Hello, Kyle," she said. "I'm glad to be here."
Are you really?
"Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in."
Well,
said
that's
Kyle.
new.
"I'm very ready," said Rachel with a winning smile.
Are you sure?
Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier.
Are you guilty?
Rachel. "Are you guilty?" Kyle threw his questions on the floor, stood up, and pointed at her. Rachel's eye twitched slightly. "Guilty of what, dear Kyle?" She smiled disingenuously. "Guilty," spat Kyle.
Of your crimes.
Rachel did not answer. Her eyelids both started twitching uncontrollably.
Call the police.
Kyle whipped out his phone and started dialing the police. Kyle quickly realized that the broken phone he had gotten for free was
Fuck.
not able to call anyone.
No.
Kyle looked sadly at his hand, realizing he had botched a wonderful opportunity to be helpful.
Damn it. We were so botched.
Rachel looked at Kyle smiling. Her eyebrows twitched a bit.
Oh fuck. We fucked up.
"What's the problem, Kyle? Anything I can help you with?" She glared, still smiling.
No. No, Rachel, you're crazy. Leave me
Kyle
alone.
looked up from his hand sadly. He slowly shook his head.
Oh, I'm just so disappointed.
The interview continued on. Rachel answered questions cheerily.
Okay.
Kyle forced a smile through the entire episode, but he felt very sad inside. Kyle had missed his chance to be helpful.
Even though you're on live TV. I know, right? Kyle found out something particular about Rachel. Okay.
Kyle started
1, 2,
another grand lark.
3.
Rachel May. Who is the bug vigilante recently spotted pursuing larcenists? Kyle fails to show up to several charity events.
God damn it. Maybe Gabby has one. Has a phone? Sure. All right, let's leave apartment. Visit neighbor.
Kyle approached his downstairs neighbor's door and knocked.
Yeah, that's
A
right.
middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. Slowly, Kyle started to twirl outside of Gabby's door, arms outstretched.
We're naked.
He tilted his neck upwards and let loose a long, passionate, and meaningful scream.
I'm into it.
As Kyle continued to spin, Gabby shut and locked her door, as she did every time Kyle screamed outside her door.
This happened more than once.
Eventually, Kyle ran out of breath and fell over.
Damn it. All right. All right. When in doubt.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat. Kyle pointed his neck directly upwards and hoisted the fridge on top of his face. Somehow, miraculously, he wrapped his mouth around the device. He started to swallow. In one slow, horrible movement, the fridge slid down Kyle's throat.
That's my favorite.
After many gurgles, pops, and snaps, Kyle felt relatively sure the fridge would not come back out.
Yeah, definitely not. Return to the hallway. Return to bedroom. Open closet. Choose an outfit.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
Suit.
Kyle miraculously crammed his...
We ate a fridge. That is
Kyle hurried
exciting.
to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
Please.
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. "Good evening, Kyle," she said, looking him in the eyes. "I've been looking forward to being here." Kyle responded. "And I as well, Rachel," answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting.
Mention the
"You are-"
fridge.
After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast.
We did eat, though.
A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. "Good evening, everyone," said Kyle, looking at the camera. "Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle."
Okay. One sec.
Kyle vomited all of the horrible things he had eaten earlier onto the floor.
You know, as one does.
Rachel looked at Kyle, concerned, gave a couple coughs, and decided to play it cool and keep the show running.
Damn it, Kyle.
Kyle stopped, then vomited again, then continued with a shaky voice. "Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction."
Okay.
Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. "Hello, Kyle," she said. "I'm glad to be here."
Are you sure?
"Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss. So we might as well dive right in." "I'm very ready," said Rachel with a winning smile. In a shock, Kyle realized he had never bothered to prepare any notes for the interview.
That sounds like Kyle.
Knowing he had the eyes of millions upon him, Kyle came up with a solution quickly.
Well, you know about gaslighting, gatekeeping, and girl bossing?
"Rachel, I need to be honest. You're not terribly interesting, and I could not think of what I should ask you."
Perfect. Perfect.
"In fact,"
Chef's
continued
kiss.
Kyle, "I would far rather interview a fish than I would you."
Yeah.
"And furthermore," said
Furthermore.
Kyle, "I'm not sure I could tell the difference between a you and a fish."
A you and a fish. Not even human.
Kyle leaned back in his chair and desperately hoped the blame had been shifted adequately.
Do you think it worked?
Rachel glowered at Kyle.
I don't think it worked.
Kyle glowered back.
I glowered back.
Rachel left the studio.
I think that was very productive.
Kyle no longer had a guest and spent the next 42 minutes staring at the camera silently.
That seems like a very Kyle thing to do. Help Kyle prepared by blaming others. You know, as one does. So, let's see here. I want to wither away.
Kyle decided to stay put and wither away. Kyle withered successfully and died.
I'm just curious. Shucks.
Kyle is now a ghost. This does not relieve him of his responsibilities.
Okay, I hate that part, but I'm a ghost now, so we're gonna exit the bedroom. We're gonna...
Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside.
But we can do something... We can float through as a ghost?
Kyle used his ghostly powers to walk straight through the door.
Okay. Go inside. Ooh. There's a bunch of stuff. Kyle found himself in the room. He stashed the various items sent to him by fans. Supernatural artifact?
This was one of the many mysterious artifacts Kyle had been sent over the years.
Okay. We're gonna smash it.
Kyle began pounding the mysterious artifact with both fists. Within a few hours, it had become dust. An ancient force trapped in the artifact was released and turned Kyle into a lizard demon.
Aha! Yes! I am the Lizard King. I can do anything. Can I skip to the end of the day?
Kyle hurried to the set. Per normal, he ceased to be a ghost before he arrived.
As it does. True.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
All right. How do you like...
As
What are you
Kyle
gonna do?
approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
You smiled at me?
Rachel's smile turned to horror as she realized she was looking not at a human, but a lizard demon.
You're judging me? I'm Kyle. What the fuck?
Pandemonium ensued. Scripts went flying, crew members ran in all directions, lights were knocked over.
That seems
As
counterproductive.
Kyle watched the chaos around him, his lizard
Yes.
demon form enveloped his last shred of humanity.
As one does.
Kyle
True.
grew to a massive size. Within minutes, he had demolished the now empty set.
Okay.
A local force of 5 spunky teenagers in brightly colored apparel arrived at the scene to fight Kyle.
Like the Power Rangers? Okay.
As the teenagers swung at him with their spunky, individualized weapons, Kyle pushed them over with his foot.
Okay. I'm loving this.
Kyle's rampage of the studio ruins continued, but in another part of the city, a hero was rising up.
Phrasing.
In a dusty apartment on the top floor of an old skyscraper in the oldest part of town sat a large man named Frank.
Just Frank, no last name?
Few people in the world knew that Frank existed. Fewer knew his name. Frank was watching the local news. A story about the studio rampage was playing.
Yeah, this is my favorite too.
Quickly, Frank got up from his chair. He opened a small door hidden behind a poster on his wall.
Okay.
Inside was an unbelievable mound of fat-ridden foods, unrefrigerated and fairly rotten.
Ew. Gross.
Frank began to consume the mound
Don't
at
do
a
that.
frightening rate. His body began to puff.
Oh, so like a kaiju fight.
Frank expanded, faster and faster with each minute. He burst through the roof.
My Frank.
Within minutes, Frank was a towering behemoth.
Okay. I respect Frank,
He
the
rolled
hustle.
across the city, rebounding off of buildings and getting cheers from onlookers below.
Why are they cheering him? Why don't they cheer me?
Approaching Kyle, Frank gave a long, painful heave upwards into the sky.
Yeah.
To Kyle,
Me too.
the sky turned black. He looked upwards to see the monstrous figure hurtling towards him.
What?
And in a moment, Kyle was completely enveloped in rubbery fat, unable to
Ew.
move or make noise.
The fuck?
Frank was quite tired and passed out where he lay.
Damn it. Damn it.
Several years went by as Frank slumbered.
What?
As Kyle was held in Frank's warm, fatty embrace, his humanity began to return.
All it takes is a hug, I guess.
When the first winter came, Frank's body recycled his fat for resources. Over many months, he shrank in size. Eventually, Kyle was human and Frank was thinned. They both walked away from the scene as new men.
No, not the blubber. No.
Neither realized how much time had passed.
Kyle prepared by being a lizard. Okay. All right, what do we got? Is there anything? I'm sure there's a lot of them. Totally realistic and normal. True that. Okay. I'm just. What do we got here? Go through the door again. All right, we're gonna check out what's going on. We're gonna wither away.
Kyle decided to stay put and wither away. Kyle withered successfully and died.
That's my favorite start.
Kyle is now a ghost.
It's so
This does
relatable.
not relieve him of his responsibilities.
Okay, we're gonna exit the hallway and check the locked door.
Kyle walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside.
Well, that's not a problem for me because I'm a ghost.
Kyle used his ghostly powers to walk straight through the door.
Oh, can I turn her into a lizard? Yeah.
This was one of the many mysterious artifacts Kyle had been sent over the years.
I have successfully withered. That would be pretty cool t-shirt, honestly. I would wear it.
Kyle stashed the mysterious artifact for later use.
Check sewing machine.
Kyle walked over to the dilapidated sewing machine. Its box was only half removed. Expecting a battle, Kyle grabbed the laser claymore.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why do I have a claymore? All right, I'm into it. I almost left. Choose an outfit.
Kyle decided...
Suit of armor.
Kyle was unsure of what exactly caused him to decide to wear his armor, but it felt like the right thing to do.
It honestly does, Kyle.
After much squeezing and sweating, Kyle managed to wrap the metal suit around his dumpy self.
Again, that's shaming. We're gonna go to exit the bedroom. We're gonna move the kitchen. Cyberpunk Highlander. Hell yeah. That is how I would dress. Open fridge.
Kyle opened the fridge, intending...
Prepare
Kyle
breakfast.
constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast, along with a small fruit cup and grilled sausage.
Eat.
Kyle ate his breakfast slowly and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite.
Nom nom nom. All right. Float through side door. Oh.
Kyle walked over to the dilapidated sewing machine. Its box was only half.
All right. We got there.
Kyle hurried to the set. Per normal, he ceased to be a ghost before he arrived.
Only normal, right? Sure.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
Throw it at Rachel!
As she approached to shake his hand, Kyle produced the supernatural artifact and winged it at Rachel's face.
Thwonk! Thwonk, Rachel!
Within moments of the artifact colliding with her head, Rachel started to turn into a lizard demon.
No regrets. No regrets.
Rachel began to cause destruction, tipping over lights and causing crew members to scatter.
Wow, Rachel, that's very professional.
Kyle, realizing the disaster he had caused, decided it was up to him to tame the monster.
Throw crew members at monster.
Kyle started to grab nearby crew members and hurl them at Rachel.
Yes, this'll solve it.
The crew members rebounded off of Rachel on all sides, causing little to no damage to her or themselves.
Blast it.
In a lizard demon rage, Rachel rushed at Kyle and drove him into the opposite wall, face first.
Kind of rude.
She began to
Oh!
pound Kyle's face into the wall repeatedly, littering it with head-sized holes.
Wait, where's Frank at?
Kyle, having been in this situation before, felt he knew exactly what to do.
He was in the situation before, really?
Balling his fists, Kyle began to punch himself in the stomach repeatedly, causing loud gurgles and pops.
How's that working for you, dude?
Kyle's strategy did not help. He continued to be mashed into the wall.
Right. That checks out.
After a period of time, the artifact lodged in Rachel's face came loose and fell to the floor. Rachel immediately turned into her normal human self.
I mean, at least everything's back to normal.
The studio, now in shambles, flicked to life. The broadcast had started automatically. Kyle, unable to move properly, became aware that the eyes of many were upon him.
Yeah.
Kyle tried to address the audience, but instead spewed some mixture of breakfast phlegm and chunks of plaster.
That's just a typical Tuesday.
Kyle's spewing video became a very hot meme.
Hot and sexy.
Online personalities used it to express distaste about social issues. Teenagers sent it to each other about homework amounts.
What?
Rachel's broadcast was rescheduled for the following week.
Oh, no. Not again.
Fans complained about not being able to see Rachel's face as she wore protective headgear the entire time.
Good idea. Well, Rachel became a lizard. As one does. Let's go back to the interview.
Kyle, sitting across from it, as Kyle approached.
Throw artifact.
As she approached to shake his hand, Kyle produced the supernatural artifact and winged it at Rachel's face.
That's how I greet most people. I throw shit at their head.
Within moments of the artifact colliding with her head, Rachel started to turn into a lizard demon.
Damn.
Rachel began to cause destruction, tipping over lights and causing crew members to scatter.
That is one of my favorite.
Kyle, realizing the disaster he had caused, decided it was up to him to tame the monster.
Throw self at monster.
Kyle launched himself at the monstrous Rachel.
Don't I have a claymore?
In a great collision of flesh, Kyle rammed face first into the monster's stomach.
Face first? We have a sword.
Kyle continued to launch himself into Rachel's stomach with wild abandon.
Just headbutting her stomach?
After several dozen collisions, small, insignificant bones in Kyle's body began to fracture. Kyle continued.
I don't think it's
Rachel
helping.
began to lose stamina from the incessant damage Kyle was inflicting upon her.
Nice, nice.
Kyle continued his assault. Nobody present could tell what parts of his body were bruised and what weren't.
There's just become a giant bruise.
Eventually, in one well-placed lunge, the artifact embedded in Rachel's face popped out.
Insignificant, yes.
Immediately, Rachel turned back into her normal human self. The studio, now in shambles, flicked to life. The broadcast had started automatically. Kyle, unable to move properly, became aware that the eyes of many were upon him.
Okay, so it's the same then.
Kyle tried to address the audience, but instead spewed some mixture of breakfast phlegm and chunks of plaster.
Ooh.
Kyle's spewing video became a very hot meme.
Oh, the meme.
Online personalities used it to express distaste about social issues. Teenagers sent it to each other about homework amounts. Rachel's broadcast was rescheduled for the following week.
Okay, all right, sure.
Fans complained about not being able to see Rachel's face as she wore protective headgear the entire time.
All right, let's try again. I'm gonna do another wither away.
Kyle decided to stay put and wither away. Kyle withered successfully and died.
That's,
Kyle is now a ghost.
I love
this does
being a
not
ghost.
relieve him of his responsibility.
All right, we're gonna open the closet and
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
skunk pasties. No. All right, we're gonna do a suit.
Kyle miraculously crammed his dumpy body into the suit.
Dumpy
The
body.
chest pockets were filled with random knickknacks.
I just imagine Humpty Dumpty at this point. We're gonna scavenge.
Kyle quickly crouched down on the floor, realizing his immediate need for...
Bugs.
Kyle started to pick between the fuzz of his bedroom carpet, hoping to catch a stray beetle or two. Soon, he had a small handful of various insects, dead and alive.
We're not gonna Renfield this time. We're gonna save.
Kyle stashed the wriggling mass for later use.
Okay. Back to the kitchen. And,
Kyle opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
gonna have brekkie? So we don't faint.
Kyle constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast, along with a small fruit cup and grilled sausage. Kyle ate his breakfast slowly and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite.
Enjoying every bite. All right. We're gonna go through the
Kyle
door.
walked over to the strange door in the hallway, but found quickly that the door was locked from the inside.
There's something new.
Kyle used his ghostly powers to walk straight through the door.
Please.
Kyle walked over to the dilapidated
What?
sewing machine. Its box was only half removed.
Okay, I think I found a new one. Yes. All right, cool.
Kyle started sewing dead bugs together to make small, actuated finger puppets.
You know what? It makes it more exciting for Rachel.
Kyle crafted a bug puppet for each finger. He named them after guests he had previously interviewed on his show.
All right. Leave apartment. We're just we're gonna do that next. Return to apartment. There we go. All right. We spent a few days, a few hours just going through different sides of things.
Kyle hurried to the set.
I'm
Per
into this
normal,
too.
He ceased to be a ghost before he arrived.
I'm normal again. Woo!
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
I like the dead bug idea.
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
Okay.
Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes.
I
I've been
hate
looking
Rachel.
forward to being here.
No, you don't.
Kyle responded.
Gonna answer politely, I think.
And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. You are a most welcome guest.
She's not welcome on my show.
After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast.
So far,
A
so
moment
good.
After seating,
Yes!
the studio lights brightened and
Yes!
the cameras clicked on.
Okay, I'm into it.
Kyle slipped his bug puppets onto his fingers.
Anything's better than Rachel.
Hello, everybody, he said, wiggling the puppet he had named after himself. I'm Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
And I'm Rachel! Kyle screamed, wiggling a different finger. You're so much better than me!
Oh my
I know, Rachel. Kyle wiggled. He looked meaningfully at the human Rachel. Said one of Kyle's other puppets.
I'm super fat, and Kyle interviewed me last week.
And I'm super irritating, said another finger, and not very attractive. Rachel stared at Kyle, incredibly disoriented.
Okay.
Kyle, she asked, what are those puppets made out of?
You want to guess?
Kyle thrust both hands at Rachel's face. Puppets pointed at her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
We aren't puppets, Rachel, he said, scrunching his fingers up and down. We're people! Rachel plucked her puppet off of Kyle's finger.
Okay.
Kyle, she exclaimed, this is several dead bugs patched together.
And?
Accept us, Rachel.
Said Kyle,
Yeah.
scrunching.
We need acceptance.
What the fuck?
Rachel stood and walked out of frame.
Come back, Rachel. Don't leave me
In a
alone
moment,
with them.
she returned with a bag. She
Uh-oh.
plucked each puppet off of Kyle's hands and tossed them in the bag.
Yeah.
Kyle, leave the bugs alone next time, she said.
No. I want
Rachel left the frame again, taking the bag of puppets along with her.
What?
Kyle, suddenly by himself, was unsure what to do.
Oh no. She took my only way to express myself.
After a few moments of hemming and hawing, Kyle resorted to telling jokes for the remainder of the broadcast.
Yeah, fuck that, Rachel.
Fans did not notice much difference between this and previous episodes.
Okay. An average episode. Wow, I'm surprised we have a job. Exit the bed. I'm just trying to find some random stuff here. Closet.
Kyle decided to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is. Kyle was unsure of what exactly caused him to decide to wear his armor.
I
but it
just
felt
like the armor.
right thing to do.
That's why. It feels right.
After much squeezing and sweating, Kyle managed to wrap the metal suit around his dumpy self.
Stop calling it dumpy. I'm not dumpy. To the desk. Check desk drawer. So change.
Kyle scooped up the change scattered around the desk drawer.
Gonna grab a bunch of stuff.
Kyle grabbed the flashlight, but after jiggling the switch, he found it was out of batteries.
Damn you. Okay. So we're gonna back to room, exit, leave. Okay, we need batteries.
Kyle counted out $1.98 in pennies and nickels and traded them for a small packet of batteries. Kyle crammed the batteries into his flashlight.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. I thought it was gonna be like the rusty locker. Okay. Turn the light
Kyle
on.
shined his flashlight into his moist, cave-like closet that had not seen light in years.
Oh no.
After several minutes of searching around with the light, Kyle saw something unusual in the back.
What did we find?
There was a pile of strange items, including a small metal box with a large red button stamped with travel time.
Like Doctor Who? All right, I'm gonna take the box.
Kyle stashed the device
Cool.
for later use.
I'm into it. Let's do it. And 1 hour. Fingers crossed, guys. I think it's gonna lead to something.
Kyle hurried to the set.
Yes.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
I think we got something new.
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
All right.
"Good evening, Kyle," she said, looking him in the eyes. "I've
Normal
been
as-
looking forward to being here."
Usual.
Kyle responded.
Gonna answer politely.
"And I as well, Rachel," answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. "You are a most welcome guest."
Why does Kyle not sound human?
After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
Okay. I guess we could do it.
"Good evening, everyone," said Kyle. "Tonight, Rachel and I will time travel together."
Oh. All right, straight to the point.
In one motion, Kyle grabbed Rachel's arm and pressed the red button on the time machine with his elbow. Kyle and Rachel were sent back to a time before human existence on Earth.
For real?
They
Damn.
were standing next to a large lake. There was a forest behind them, full of singing birds. Lizards were everywhere. "Kyle, dear," said Rachel, stern but not angry, "you can't just do things like that."
I thought you'd be amazed.
Rachel began digging in the dirt, looking for small, smooth stones. "I'm sorry, Rachel," said Kyle. "I got a bit ahead of myself." Kyle began helping to look for stones.
What?
"Well, it's okay, Kyle. I forgive you." Rachel took Kyle's stones and started to build a small stack on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle silently began sifting through the sand near the lake to find pure mud. Well, since we're here together, said Rachel, using nearby sticks to build a pyramid around the rocks. How are you?
Oh, you've become the interviewer.
Oh, I'm fine, said Kyle, sticking pieces of shale together with the mud. I've been preparing for your interview all day.
I don't think you're preparing for the interview. I think you're trying to time travel. But okay.
Rachel began to bundle nearby foliage into small power cells. Do you love being famous? She asked.
Nah.
Kyle used the bones from the dead fish ashore to start crafting some energy capacitors.
I'm simply amazed that you could do that with a dead fish.
That's an interesting question, Rachel, he answered. There's ups and downs. How about yourself? I think I'd love to be unknown with a loving family, said Rachel. Being so recognizable gets very lonely.
Damn.
Rachel started grabbing
That's
live
deep.
birds as they flew by to make a nuclear reactor.
What? What?
I understand that incredibly well, said Kyle, extracting pure hydrogen from the lake using a reed siphon.
I didn't know they had degrees in this kind of science.
There was a warm, understanding silence between them. After a few minutes, Kyle broke the silence.
Oh no. What, Kyle?
Can you pass me the arc welder when you're done? I need to weld these bioreactive plates together. Soon, the pair had constructed a janky but workable return time machine. As they climbed in, Rachel and Kyle looked at each other. Both knew they had bonded. With the flick of a switch, the whir of an engine made out of beaver pelts, and some pops, the duo returned home.
I don't know if it worked
Later
like
that
that.
evening, back at his apartment, Kyle thought about the time he had spent with Rachel.
Oh no.
He was glad they had gotten the chance to take a trip together.
I mean, that was nice. Is there anything else I can? I'm sure there's a lot of things, huh? I'm gonna put
Kyle
my
decided to
suit.
take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is.
Okay.
Kyle was
Got
unsure
suit
of
of
what
armor.
exactly caused him to decide to wear his armor, but it felt like the right thing to do. After much squeezing and sweating, Kyle managed to wrap the metal suit around his dumpy self.
We're gonna try for it this time. Sit at any desk. Write notes for interview.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Are you a mother?
Kyle wrote down his second question.
Beef or mash?
Kyle wrote down his third question.
Purposely ran over a puppy.
Kyle wrote down his last question.
Are you guilty?
Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk.
Back to room. Back to room. Hallway. All right, we're gonna make sure we eat something. Yeah, open fridge.
Kyle
Prepare.
constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast, along with a small fruit cup and grilled sausage.
Fuck.
Kyle ate his breakfast slowly and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite. He felt refreshed.
I don't think I did that right.
Kyle started to scroll. Stay. Kyle's phone exploded in his hands from overuse.
Yeah, we are naked. Visit tech store.
This phone, said Kyle, is several years old and has exposed wires coming out of the back. Kyle continued. Also, the screen has had issues ever since I used it to hammer nails into the... Furthermore, when I submerge it in water, I get severely shocked until it runs out of battery. The attendant looked at Kyle, pursed his lips, and said nothing.
This one
Feeling
does.
he had made his argument, Kyle decided to leave. Quickly, before the attendant could acknowledge him, Kyle grabbed Techno Jim by the shoulders. Finding that Techno Jim's cardboard feet were bolted to the ground, Kyle started to heave upwards. After several tugs, Techno Jim broke free, leaving 1 foot and 1 leg behind. Kyle glanced at the attendant, who was staring, bewildered, and ran outside. Kyle approached his downstairs neighbor's door and knocked. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. Kyle unhinged his jaw and swallowed Gabby whole. Job done, Kyle returned to the middle of the street. Kyle hurried to the set.
Naked.
Sitting
and
across from his host chair was
cannibal.
a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
as you do.
As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Rachel's smile quickly
Damn.
turned to shock as she realized Kyle had not put on clothes that day.
So we're just gonna not talk about how I ate a
Kyle
person?
waved and smiled broadly. Rachel uncomfortably averted her eyes.
No? Okay.
Kyle started making his rounds around the room, greeting each crew member, none of whom looked at him directly.
Oh, damn, that's kind of rude.
As it became apparent that Kyle had no intention of leaving, Rachel made some excuses and exited the set. One by one, the crew followed suit.
Yeah.
Kyle was left all alone.
Damn it. Okay. Trying to think here. Reset. There, I gotta unlock some stuff, I think. What if we just did a normal go through? Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's why there's
Kyle
some
decided
things.
to take some time to choose the perfect outfit, knowing how important appearance is. Kyle miraculously crammed his dumpy body into the suit. The chest pockets were filled with random knickknacks.
Just random knickknacks. Okay. Yeah, this will be. Yeah, we're gonna do a good interview, and then I think we're gonna rate out. Yeah. Write notes for the interview. Yep.
Kyle wrote down his first question.
Are you a mother?
Kyle wrote down his second question.
What are some diet tips?
Kyle wrote down his third question.
Funniest story
Kyle
and
wrote down his last question.
guilty pleasure.
Kyle ripped his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk.
Okay, we need to go and move the kitchen. Now this will probably be a normal one.
Kyle
So
opened the fridge, intending to find something to eat.
I'm so tempted, but we're gonna
Kyle
eat.
Kyle ate his breakfast slowly and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite.
Okay. And then I think we got it. I don't know. Like, I just wanted to try to see if we do the standard that it would unlock like some other stuff.
Kyle hurried to the set.
Okay.
Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
I don't believe that for a
As
second.
Kyle approached her,
You might
Rachel
have-
looked up and smiled.
Rachel might have everyone else fooled, but you can't fool me, Rachel. We're gonna figure out your crimes soon enough.
Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here.
Yeah, that's what a guilty person would say.
Kyle responded.
I'm gonna answer politely.
And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting.
Oh,
You
this
are a
feels so
most
wrong.
welcome guest. After other mild exchanges of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast.
We're just gonna be a normal
A
broadcaster.
moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
All right.
Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Oh yeah, it's a classic.
Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May,
Oh,
who
I
needs
so
no
wanna be
more
her.
introduction.
All right.
Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she said. I'm glad to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in,
Right,
said Kyle.
Might as well.
I'm very ready, said Rachel with a winning smile. Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier.
Are you a mother?
Rachel, I and many others would love to know, are you a mother? Kyle looked up from his notes.
Why'd you say it like that? That's weird.
Well, being a single woman with a career, she answered. That's not something that has crossed my mind.
No, she's a famous cat burglar.
Rachel smiled genuinely at Kyle.
Uh-huh.
Very reasonable indeed, said Kyle. He referenced his paper of questions. Kyle asked another question.
What are some diet tips?
Rachel, you manage to keep such a thin and healthy figure, said Kyle. What is your best diet tip?
I feel like Johnny Carson right now. Like, ever watch Tubi TV? They have, like, Johnny Carson 24 hours. Like, I like old stuff. You know what I mean? So, anyway, that is something that he probably would have asked.
Well, a good diet starts with a plan, answered Rachel. And don't break it. Cheat days can turn into a habit.
Yeah.
But, she continued, that doesn't mean a midnight snack here and there isn't allowed. She smiled.
Or stealing.
Kyle looked
Isn't
at his
allowed.
flabby self, decided not to comment, and moved on.
Damn.
Kyle asked another question.
What's your funniest story?
You've been involved in a lot of different things, said Kyle. But what's your funniest story?
I love the inflections.
Well, that's a great question, Kyle, said Rachel.
Yeah. What
I
is
think the
it?
story I always remember is the first time I tried to make dinner for my family.
I bet it went shit.
In the soup I made, I swapped out the water with milk and tipped the whole jar of salt in the pot.
Oh, you idiot.
While my family was sick from trying to eat it, I swiped their things and locked myself in my room.
You asshole.
Rachel laughed elegantly.
That is not normal.
Kyle decided to move on.
Swiped her things? Swipe their things?
Kyle asked another question.
What's your guilty pleasure? Is it stealing?
We all have one. What's your guilty pleasure?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, well, that's an easy answer, said Rachel. Dipping pickles in
Ugh.
chocolate sauce.
Ugh! Disgusting! What the fuck?
It might sound strange,
Ugh.
but it's tangy and sweet at the same time. I eat
No.
it far too often. Rachel smiled sweetly.
That is the biggest crime you've committed, Rachel.
After reading
Rachel.
his final question, Kyle looked up from his paper. Well, Rachel, he said, I think that's all I was planning on asking you. If that's the case, Kyle, may I ask you something in return? Asked
Sure.
Rachel, smiling one more time.
What is it?
Do you prepare for your interviews in advance? Because you seem very together.
I am very together. I am not nuts at all. I have not done a lot of weird shit this entire time.
Before Kyle could answer, the camera shut down. The broadcast was over.
Oh.
Kyle returned home knowing the interview had gone well.
Okay.
But as he lay in bed and drifted to sleep, he felt that perhaps something was still missing.
Well, no worries. We are going to do more of this. But yeah, I think we're going to rate out after I end stream. Anyway, that was Kyle is Famous. Thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you in the next one. All right.